All right, it is noon o'clock on Tuesday, March 15th, and the expected patch just hit. We're going to go over these notes and see what all they changed. We expected something to hit today because last week they announced that there would be an alternative way of getting the Siege Turtle today, as well as revisiting the rewards for Dragon's End. Currently, Dragon's End takes about 2 hours. If you fail, you get almost nothing. If you succeed, you get some stuff. But it's not worth 2 hours. And when I say worth, I mean if you are just looking at it as a reward per time. If you're having fun, obviously that's great. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about just okay, I personally have fun playing the game in just about any zone. So second to that, I'll look at gold and the rewards, and Octovine pays really well, for example. Okay, so here are the notes. I'll have a link to them in the description as always. And starting off, World Polish. A few more cats have made their home in Zendai June's Cat Island. Please pet accordingly. Don't let Connor near them. Enika Havocstalker will now accept interview requests about her change of vocation. Okay. When the last battery is found in the chapter Way to the World, needed batteries will be marked with pickup markers, so players don't need to remember where they left them. That's a quality of life thing. Fixed an issue in which it was possible for Taimi to have cloned herself an Eye of the North during convergence. I mean, that's just efficiency. Qualification for the Lion's Arch achievement will now start at the very beginning of the Aetherblade Armada instance in the chapter Old Friends. So that's usually when you get a buff on your bar that says eligible for blah 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 achievement. The letter from Kaith now contains a single-use Eye of the North portal scroll. Added speed boost skills to the items players can throw at Naga looters in the Drive Naga Invaders and Looters Away from Kaolai Tower event in Dragon's End. Made fixes and improvements to markers and help Zunlai Jade prepare their Jade shipment and stop Void Corruptors from tainting the Jade shipment events in Dragon's End. That's good. I remember the very first time I did this, and I kept loading Jade onto cart 1. And on the side, it said cart 1 was full, go to cart 2. 1, there's not a marker for the carts on the map, and it took me a minute to find it. And 2, it should probably have cart 1 stop accepting Jade when it's full, but it didn't at that time. Maybe this will help with that. Rumors abound of revelers getting footloose somewhere in the Echo Vault Wilds. Fixed an issue in which players did not get an achievement eligibility effect when mounting up at certain locations. A diving location in Dragon's End can now be interacted with to exit its location. Fixed incorrect icons and item names for certain items in the Jade Slivers Recycler's inventory. Everlife, thank you for the sub, buddy. I'll give you the full long intro in just a minute. Riem and Bami's discussion of a more inclusive brotherhood now plays properly. Several mining nodes in Dragon's End have been unearthed and no longer appear below the ground. I hit some of those. There was a few spots where, you could sort of see a node, but it was under the ground and you couldn't access it. I think there's a treasure chest that might be underground as well that you can reach it, but you had to basically break the game to do it. Notarized scrolls of Jade Heroics now use the correct icon. The Tengu in Mari village, who was hiding in the bushes, has been reprimanded and is now standing in the open. Oh, he wasn't intending to be there? Fixed an issue that caused the spirit of a certain character to appear more often than intended during battle for the Jade Sea meta event. So I think what that is... Minor spoilers of really old story stuff in 3, 2, 1. Alright, there's a part where your body gets separated from your spirit, and you get whispers from people who are dead. I've gotten whispers from Krisha, and... Wait, was it Krisha? Oh, thank you. Thank you, chat. It was Almora. I had the wrong Lady Char name. Almora and Ryland. However, sometimes they would whisper you, and it's supposed to be this, oh my god. And they're you can do it. I believe in you. And you get whispers from them from beyond the veil when you're separated from your body. However, they spam you. They're you can do it, 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 you can do it. And they're just rapping in your chat. And you're just I am going to report you. What are you doing? So apparently that was not on purpose. They weren't supposed to be beatboxing in the chat box. Fixed an issue that caused a Jade bot technician to appear early in the Jade Brotherhood outpost in Dragon's End. Fixed an issue that sometimes caused dialogues from Aurene to overlap during the Quell the Void corruption events in Dragon's End. The interact cooldown for rubble piles and help the archaeologists extract relics from their magical wards event has been adjusted to encourage more varied treasure hunting around the entire area. So there was probably like 1 or 2 piles, and you could just spam them and get it done or something. A ley line will now appear near the Harvest Temple after completion of the Battle for the Jade Sea meta event that leads players to the area to the southwest. So way to the southwest of the temple is where Aurene and Bubbles go after the event is over, and they have this cool talk that you can go watch. It's really far away, unless, I mean, that might be just like a really, really long... Oh wait, you know what? I read ley line and my brain was thinking zip line. Ley line, okay. So that's kind of a cool way of getting you over there. Ley line, all right, we've got some really big ley lines in the game. That makes sense. I was imagining a zip line across half of Dragon's End. I was like, oh my god. Fixed an issue that caused the residents of the fishing hamlet in Seitung province to occasionally ignore Naga attackers during Defend the Village. Like, just Nagas running everywhere. They're just like, oh, you know what? It's whatever. Just days like this happen. You just gotta take it easy. You just gotta chill out. No big deal. Just everyone dying around them. Mug, can I see your heal mech build? If you do exclamation build in my Twitch chat, there's a link for each of my characters. Click on the one for engineer and you can look at all my builds. There's drop-down menus. Added a new conversation option to Fisherman Benyo in the fishing hamlet in Seitung province that allows players to purchase fishing supplies before completing the Renown Heart. The overall meta event timer will now pause during longer exchanges of dialogue between characters toward the end of Dragon's End meta event. Oh, that's a good change. That's a good change. So, you know, of course, many of us have failed Dragon's End due to the timer. Anything that pauses that timer increases the chance of different maps succeeding. You missed the security turret line. Security turrets will no longer target laser walls during the Seitung province meta event. Okay. Fixed an issue in a collection that prevented Zeothanol's marker from showing up on the map while on a specific step. Made fixes and improvements to markers in the Defeat Janine event in Canang City. Fixed an issue that caused Officer Roz to occasionally linger on the crashed airship during Defeat the Aetherblade Champion event in Seitung Province. Don't know if I've seen that one. I think I've done the Seitung meta 3 times. I haven't seen that one myself. Reduce the size of the event broadcast for the Unmask and Thwart the Purest Agitators event in the Seitung Province. Fixed a bug in New Canang that briefly removed collision on the consoles in the Nai Pui lab during the Canang Blackout meta event. I think I've seen that, because if there's no collision, you can pass through them, but then if collision turns back on, you're stuck. And I'm pretty sure I've seen players in that event be like in the console freaking out, and we're just like, I don't know how you did that, but you just need a waypoint. Just calm down, Casper. Just pop over there. We'll meet you on the other side. I don't know what you did. I guess this is what they did. The human Minsec NPC has been replaced with a Tengu Minsec NPC in Protect the Technicians event in New Canang. As I read this sentence, I thought it was gonna say Dragon's End. There in Dragon's, you know how when the Tengu talk, they make like a clicky sound with their mouth? There is a human NPC that is on the ground, and he's like, save the turtles, they're in danger, clickety click click click. Like, he's got a Tengu voice, but it's a human guy. And I was like, I wonder, like multiple times I've said, I wonder if that NPC is supposed to be Tengu, but that was in Dragon's End, not Canaan. Corrected Mizuki's pathing when she exits the Sen Zheng lab during the Canang Blackout meta event in New Canang City. Adjusted the scale of the final boss's Defiance bar during one specific phase transition of the Battle of the Jade Sea. Wait, one specific Defiance bar for one transition. Now she does transitions at 80, 60, 40, and 20. I don't immediately know which one this is talking about. Interesting. Okay, adjusted the scale could have been a buff or a nerf. Not enough information to really say much. To address a potential exploit. Overall time to complete this phase transition should not be impacted significantly. Okay, I guess someone found something dangerously cheesy on there and they're trying to address that. I'm not sure. Fixed an issue with the environment zone present in the chapter Fallout could persist through to the public version of Arborstone. I'm kind of sad I didn't see anything on there about the Jade, what is it called? The Jade Maw, thank you. The Jade Maw, I'm terrible with names today. The Jade Maw, if you've got like 5 or 10 people there, it's pretty easy to do. If you have more than like 15 there, it is impossible. Because you can only hurt it by throwing crystals at it, but it takes, like, it gets more hit points the more people are there, but the crystals still do the same amount of damage, and there's still the same number of crystals. So it actually becomes impossible when you get too many of them. So what we would have to do, like, there's a step of the turtle where you have to kill the Jade Maw. What we did is we kept hopping maps until one of us landed on a map in Dragon's End where there was no one doing the meta. And then we did a private squad there. The first time we tried it, we did a public squad. So many people came over and joined it, made it impossible. We had to do a private squad so that not too many people came to help us, and then we were able to get it done. I honestly believe the Jade Maw scaling past like 15 people, it's broken, and that is a bug. Okay, general, looking for group, added mouse over tooltip text to the end of Dragon's entries. Cleaned up fishing and Jade Bot item opacity so they no longer improperly grayed out when unselected. Oh, before I keep reading, I hope they fix Jade Bot spam. For those of you who don't have it, there's a chip for your Jade Bot that lets you find more loot. And you get a message in your chat box all the time that's like, your Jade Bot found something, your Jade Bot found something, your Jade Bot found something, your Jade Bot found something. The whole thing. And it's like, dude, I like the extra loot, but I'm gonna report you. You gotta calm down. Like, what is it with like all these NPCs spam in this expansion? So I'm wondering if they're going to address that. Added better tooltips to the map region navigation buttons. Fixed a bug that could cause Jadebot modules to sometimes show an incorrect state in the hero panel. I was getting excited. Did you hear my voice? This is not what I thought it was. Added a skill to the Siege Turtle mount that will open the passenger slot to players that aren't in party or squad with the pilot. What a dirty, dirty turtle. It's just letting anyone in the backseat. Increase the memories of Aurene reward from the Battle of the Jade Sea meta event. Okay, honestly, not surprised. You get memories of Aurene from Death-Branded Shatterer, Dragonfall, Dragonstorm, and the Battle of the Jade Sea. But here's the thing, Battle for the Jade Sea takes 2 hours, Death-Branded Shatterer takes minutes. So if it's even close between the two of those, like, that feels wrong. It feels like before today, I think it was you would get 5 from Dragon's End and 3 from DBS. Yeah, and DBS always succeeds. Yeah, and the 2-hour one might fail. Slightly increased memories of Aurene reward in Dragonstorm and Dragonfall. Notice they didn't say Death-Branded Shatterer. It makes sense because that one is so short. Added a small memory over Aurene reward for replaying certain episodes from Living World Season 3 and 4 in which Aurene had some degree of involvement. Okay. Added a small memory of Aurene reward for replaying the chapter To Kill a God in Path of Fire. Is that the only buff to the DE meta rewards? I don't know yet. We'll see. Personal story. Added additional hint text to the Premium Tour achievement. Fixed an issue that allowed Rama and Ayumi to talk over each other inside of Arborstone. Updated faction reps to prevent them from being killed in Dragon's End, which could block completion of the Competent Commander achievement. Just heal him. No big deal. Just give him a little spritz with the water gun. It's fine. Fixed an issue with the eligibility effect that tracks the I Brought Flowers achievement. I think that was like the epilogue scene. I won't say what it is. There's an epilogue scene at the end. You know what? I'll make something up. Marjorie tells Cass she's sick of her crap. Cass cries and goes to Bram. Bram is there in her time of need. Bram and Cass get married, and you can bring flowers to the wedding. This is the achievement that it's talking about. It was really weird that they just showed Marjorie crying in the outro. I think it just reminded me like Five Nights at Freddy's or something like that. Profession skills. Engineer. Fixed a bug in which the Mechanist mech could get stuck repeating an animation after using his skill. I've seen that many times. When you use Explosive Knuckle, the mech charges forward and does this like just jab, and sometimes it would be like boop, 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 and it would do the animation 3 or 4 times, but it really only punched 1 time, so it was just wasting time. So I have seen that. Fixed a bug in which the mech would not animate for a few seconds after being unstowed. Fixed a bug in which the mech would sometimes appear that it was taking enormous amounts of damage to its defiance bar. Yes, I've seen this bug in PvP when people would stun my mech. Definitely get rid of them stunning my mech. Absolutely. Guardian, Willbender, Searing Pact. Updated the condition damage skill fact to use the correct icon. Crashing Courage. Updated skill facts so Aegis is properly removed when Deathless Courage is equipped. Yeah, you guys lose your Aegis and you're gonna like it. Ranger. Jade Cannon Siege Turtle. Oh, to clarify this for the non-Ranger players, Ranger's got 4 new pets in End of Dragons, and one of them is like a tiny baby Siege Turtle with a cannon on top. Just one cannon. Fixed a tooltip issue with the Soul Beast variant of this ability that labeled this attack as a blast finisher. Fun fact, when a Soul Beast merges with a baby Siege Turtle, they can, their F1 is basically like, they throw the cannon blast. So they're like, ugh, and they hurl like this green energy ball. It kind of reminds me of Lex Luthor and his kryptonite power suit. But it's got a 1 second cooldown. It's not great damage. I don't know why you would do that, but it's just, ugh, 1. Ugh, and you just keep doing it as much as you want. Revenant, Vindicator. Added additional voiceover lines to the Legendary Alliance stance and Legendary Assassin stance. For those of you who don't know the lore of the game, the 2 spirits that the Revenant channels during the Legendary Alliance are the 2 guys who killed Shiro, and Shiro is the Legendary Assassin. So they're literally chanting like the heroes and the villain of the factions expansion. So it would make total sense that those spirits would talk some to each other when they're all trapped in the same body. I'm not a Rev player, but I'm very curious what those lines are. Legendary Alliance stance fixed a bug in which reviving or dismounting would cause the incorrect faction to be present. That sounds annoying. Balance and Discord fixed a bug that caused this trait to activate twice off of Energy Meld instead of a single time from Alliance Tactics. Okay. Thief Spectre, Triple Threat. Fixed a bug that caused the skill to grant might to the user when targeting an ally. No might for you, Spectres. Black Lion Trading Company Gem Store. Check out yours too. I tweet for the most up-to-date information on the Black Lion Trading Company Gem Store releases. Improvements and updates. Recovered Black Lion goods from the Knife Tail Gang Hunting Bond have been updated with more than 500 new items. Okay, so I've used this item once in testing long ago. Essentially, you get this thing, you use it, and then when you kill something, there's like a chance of getting additional loot. So it's like you would activate it and then farm until the buff wears off. So this is basically saying there's 500 new random things you could possibly get for your bonus loots. Item skins that haven't been obtained yet are part of an achievement will now display collectible in their tooltip. Wait, let me reread that. Item skins that haven't been obtained yet, that are part of an achievement, will say collectible in the tooltip. Oh, that's nice. That's a good change. I like that. Additional update notes are being finalized and will be posted here soon. I'm going to refresh the page here and just see if anything new has shown up. It doesn't look like it yet. It doesn't look like it yet. Okay. All right. So that is it for now. This might be the end of the video, or I might edit in the rest if it drops in the near future, but if it takes these too long, then I'll just upload this and see what else comes later. All right, back again. It's only been a second for you. It's actually been a few hours for me, and they have just come out with some additional notes. Now, last time we left off right here, and they have got some new stuff here, so we're going to pick up where we left off, and you get the news spread on all this stuff. So, late notes, World Polish. The guards in the Outreach story chapter will now stop you from climbing in the throne while they are present. This will also disqualify you from the All Due Respect achievement. Some Tengu in Mori village who were prone to start talking over story scenes have been moved. That happened to me. I'm glad that happened. I remember my chat was like, loud noises, because we had so many people talking over each other at the same time. Fixed an issue in which the hitbox indicator for the final boss of the meta event, the Battle for the Jade Sea, was subject to culling and would frequently be invisible. Interesting, okay. Fixed an issue in which the event UI wasn't properly displaying the champion boss health during the Defeat the Naga Leader Before It Withdraws event in Canang City. I've only done that event once, I didn't see that bug, but good to know. Fixed an issue that caused the Unchained Champion Kingpin to speak in the encrypted text at certain points during the Defeat the Unchained Kingpin event in Seitung. Fixed an issue that prevented the Defeat the Void Infecting the Chamber event in the final room of the mini-dungeon in Dragon's End from granting participation if there were 3 or fewer players present when the boss was defeated. I haven't done that one, I'm not familiar with that one. Fixed an issue that prevented the Waldherz Crypts mini-dungeon in Ichabod Wilds from resetting after completion. I did see this one. I was doing this one, and I had to map swap in order to get that done, so it's good to know that they fixed that, because someone else did it before I got there, and then the thing wouldn't reset, and I had to hop maps until I found one where it was fine. Fixed a rare issue that caused the Eliminate the Enraged Kappa event from starting properly. Fixed an issue with the Tracing the Tapestry achievement that prevented players who completed the Dragon's End step before the Seitung Province step from progressing. Okay. DirectX 11 fixed textures sometimes becoming corrupted. I swapped to DirectX 11, so I use 2 add-ons, Arc DPS to watch my damage, and Radial Mount Menu, which allows me to access all my mounts from one button. I hold down the button, mouse over the mount I want, and release it. This is a non-mountable area, but you get the idea. I don't even know how to access some of my mounts without Radial Mount Menu because I've been using it for so long. It's what I'm used to. So I didn't swap over to DirectX 11 until very recently when Radial Mount Menu started supporting DirectX 11, and I see a lot of broken textures in Dragon's End. So hopefully this will help me with that. DirectX 11 fixed a client crash. Fishmongers now offer mackerel bait fish in exchange for 5 fine fish fillets. I believe mackerel is one of the better baits because there is a couple of the fishermen in my guild that when they saw this, they went absolutely crazy a few hours ago, so I'm guessing this is a big deal. I haven't fished more than necessary, but there you go, now you know. Glenna's Mystic Clover weekly trade has now also been added to the Exchanges tab on the basic Magnetite Exchange operative in the Lion's Arch Aerodrome. Additionally, if you didn't know, it's also on the portable Magnetite Exchange merchant. It was actually on here, I think, a week or 2 ago, but they never really announced it. But if you've got this, the portable merchant from doing some raid achievements, you can just do this from your inventory each week, and you don't even need to go to the Aerodrome or Glenna. So pretty cool to know. Just do that right from your bag. Spirit Veil. Veil Guardian, distributed magic, also known as the Greens, will no longer deal damage to player pets. That is wonderful. So let me explain that really quick. So Veil Guardian, first boss in Raid Wing 1, it's usually the 4th boss I bring new raiders to when I'm doing training, because it is a little more challenging than a few of the others. It has a mechanic that people call greens. It's a green circle, and if 4 people stand in it, nothing happens. But sometimes that green circle is really far away. When that happens, what you usually do is just have everyone stay where they are, don't stand in it. When the green finishes, there's a massive explosion if there's not 4 people standing in it. It rips through the whole room, does a lot of damage. And it's like, it's a percentage of your health. It's something like 80% of your health. So the more vitality you have, the more damage you take, and the more healing it takes to get you back up. Now, here's the kicker that wasn't really an issue before. It's been hitting Mechanist Golems. So Mechanist Golem, you know, mine right now is 54,000 health. It would take it to almost dead. And then, you know, the whole party's low, so I'm healing. All the healers are healing. But heals, of course, are smart. They prioritize players first. So the Golem is the last thing to start getting healed. So usually the next green that happens kills the Golem. Now, you can use the Overclock Signet to summon it back, but then if your DPS isn't high enough to phase, then the next green kills your second Golem. Then you got a crippled Mechanist that is putting out really almost non-existent barrier and alacrity because their mech is gone. Now, most raid bosses, their mechanics that players need to avoid or obey, their mechanics will not hit pets. Pets and minions are immune to that stuff because pets and minions aren't smart enough to dodge out of things or stand in circles, things like that. So they're usually not punished for that. So this, literally, I've done, I think, like 20 of the 25 raid bosses since End of Dragons came out, and only Veil Guardian has killed my mech. The Raid Wing 1 boss 1 is the only one that's killed my mech. So this is clearly aimed at that, and it's good to see. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. I just ate lunch. All right, professions. Elementalist. Catalyst has landed strong in group content and currently has damage dealing potential that is higher than intended when compared against other professions. I believe Catalysts were benching in at well over 40,000 on Snow Crows last I saw. We've realized that we made a mistake with the specific durations of quickness in the Catalyst kit, as our other professions require a damage trade-off in trait selection to bring a strong boon support roll, while the Catalyst currently does not, leading to the Catalyst dealing about a third more damage than other quickness support options. Okay, so they're comparing it against Quickness Scrapper and Quickness providing Firebrands. Harbinger now too. With this patch, we're tuning the Catalyst to parity with other professions in damage and setting up Sphere Specialist as a strong trait choice to enable boon support builds in PvE. Alright, Catalyst deploying Jade Sphere cooldown increased from 5 seconds to 15 in PvE, which matches PvP in World v World. Ooh, triple the cooldown. Shattering Ice damage coefficient cut in half in PvE. Relentless Fire bonus damage bonus reduced from 15% to 10% in PvE only. Empowered Empowerment. Elemental Empowerment effectiveness increase changed from 100% to 50% in PvE only. Sphere Specialist raised the base duration increase of Jade Sphere boons from 20% to 100% in PvE only. 20% to 100, wow. So again, before any Catalyst starts screaming the sky is falling, they're basically trying to make Catalysts that provide quickness match what the other classes who provide quickness do in terms of damage. Because if it leaves them in the dust, no one will want the others in their groups at all. This does not mean that a pure DPS Catalyst is the target behind these nerfs, but we'll see once the new benchmarks come out how that turned out. Engineer Inventions. In this patch, we're increasing the effect radius of Reconstruction, Enclosure, and Soothing Detonation so that they synergize better in healing and support builds with other inventions and alchemy traits which have a radius of 360. So 2 support traits that have 240 radius have been increased to 360 radius to match some other stuff. Okay, little quality of life thing there. Oh boy, I am scared and excited. That is a lot of Mechanist. Mechanist. We found that the Mechanist Energizing Slam is locking players in its animation slightly longer than it needs to. And as a result, it is a little clunky to use and not as impactful as it should be compared to the Mace's auto attack chain. Oh, I could show that because I'm on my boy right now. So here's the Mechanist. Energizing Slam is the 2, and you go flip, flip, bam. And it does Vigor and Regen on allies, which if you have concentration, then as a support, this is really important. Or, and it does Confusion and Vulnerability, and it does some damage. So honestly, this thing scales a bit with support stuff like Healing Power Concentration, scales the Condition Damage and Expertise, and it scales a bit with Power. So you got a lot of options there. But it is the main way that a Mechanist, while providing Barrier, can do any measure of healing without just swapping to the medkit for their team. The thing is because of that animation, I've had a couple times where it's like, if you know that a boss is about to do something you have to dodge, you don't use Hammer 2, or Mace 2, because you'll get locked into it for a couple of crucial seconds and then you die. So you have to only do it after like a dodge or something like that. So apparently that was not intentional. This update slightly speeds up the Energizing Slam animation, removes the fraction of a second after impact at which players can't move or begin another skill, and makes some other slight fixes and adjustments to the Mace to synergize better with condition and support builds. While the Inventions and Mace changes makes it easier to keep up some support effects on a moving group in combat, we've slightly reduced the power of the support F3 skill Barrier Burst to match the strength of other Mechanist Barrier Pulses. So since I've got a visual aid right here, Dennis, if you would, that is Barrier Burst, and you notice we're getting about 795 per pulse. The tooltip still says 976, so they might want to fix that. So it looks like the tooltip might not be updated. In any case, I'm pretty sure Barrier Burst was well over 1,000 with my current gear before. Let's compare that to Barrier Signet, which is doing 795. So yeah, it's about on par with Barrier Signet now. Now that doesn't really break anything. It's just a little less barrier on one of the cooldown skills. Still an incredible overall so far. As well as removing the Vigor boon from it, as the Mechanist already has strong access to Vigor via the Mace and specific core engineer traits which we do not wish to invalidate, such as experimental turrets. Yes, that is true. So we've, Might and Fury on Barrier Burst, Vigor's no longer there. However, you can keep Vigor up almost 100% of the time just by spamming Energizing Slam. See, 5 and 3/4 second duration, 6-second cooldown. And that's without Alacrity. With Alacrity, just using this every time it's up, you're going to be fine. Chip says hi. So, next up, what else do we have? All right, Mace Strike. Fixed a bug that caused the skill to not apply its confusion condition. That is the one. That's just bonk. Mace Strike, Mace Smash, Barrier Blast. That's still the one. The one has an auto attack chain of 3 skills. Duration of applied confusion stacks increased from 4 to 5 in PvE only. Energizing Slam, that's the 2. Total casting time reduced from 0.94 seconds to 0.75. Boon application radius increased from 240 to 360. Nice. Damage coefficient increased from 1.8 to 1.85 in PvE only. So honestly, the biggest thing I'm excited about there is the boon radius being a little larger, a little bit easier to keep up regen and vigor on my teammates as a support fanboy. Recall Mech. Fixed a bug in which the manual activation of Recall Mech could be interrupted if the mech's Defiance bar was depleted. Okay. Crash Down. The mech's landing animation has been updated. Well, hold on. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to use Recall Mech right now. And Dennis is going to fly off into the sunset. And we're going to use Crash Down. And, oh, it does a superhero landing now. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, that's wonderful. That was so unnecessary, and I love it. It does the superhero landing. Okay. Crisis Zone. Fixed a bug that caused the ring indicating the area in which this skill grants boons to appear around a targeted enemy instead of around your mech. I never noticed that. This bug was visual only. The boons were granted in the correct location and radius. Okay. Barrier Burst removed the Vigor boon. Yeah, that was the F3, we just went over that. Reduce the barrier per pulse to match other Mechanist barrier pulses. On the competitive side, the Mechanist is one of 2 elite specializations getting adjusted in this update. Only 2. Well, you know what, before even continuing reading, my guess would be Vindicator. We're gonna see if I'm wrong, but the scariest thing I fought in PvE since the patch has been Vindicators. Okay. On the competitive side, let's see, we're already planning some additional competitive balance changes for the next regular live update. But both the Mechanist and the Vindicator stood out as the main outliers in post-EoD data. We wanted to get a few adjustments on the first opportunity. The Jade Mech's Defiance bar is something we were initially concerned about in competitive modes, and we've been keeping an eye on it during beta events and now through release. We've confirmed that Defiance bars are not a mechanic we want to have on a profession ability in a competitive environment. We've disabled the Defiance bar in PvP and World v World. Okay, but we can see in game right now, he does still have the Defiance bar in PvE. I think that's probably good. In PvP, no one ever focused all their CC on the mech. It's just like, it happened when it happened. If he was near too much cleave, he would get CC'd, but people were not really trying to do it. And even as a Mechanist fanboy, I gotta acknowledge that probably wasn't fair. In PvE, I think it's good they left the Defiance bar here, because for example, if he's doing this, and then he gets interrupted by just a small boop, that's catastrophically bad. It's like your support's biggest thing is interrupted. So I think it's good that he still has the Defiance in PvE, which means he's rarely interrupted in PvE. Sometimes, but rarely. Thinking about you, Harvest Temple. Okay. Confirms we disable the Defiance bar. In PvP, we've also adjusted the toughness and vitality inheritance of the mech, Jade Mech, to make it a bit easier to bring down. The tankiness of the mech is something that we will continue to watch and will continue to tune as needed. The Jade mech no longer has Defiance bar in PvP World v World. Mech Fighter, reduced toughness and vitality inheritance from 100% to 70% in PvP only. Okay, so the mech has a base health. And then, you know, he has his base stats, and then plus, previously, 100% of your toughness and vitality. If you look in the game right now, I have 21,000 health, he has 54,000. Okay, so he has some, and then it's yours added on top of it. Now, I'm wearing, you know, tanky, supporty gear right now, but that's how it works. Sorry, man, you might hear someone mowing their lawn outside. They say hello. So, it'll be a little bit easier to bring down. That's interesting. That's interesting. Going from 100 to 70 is not catastrophic. We'll see. If it ends up looking like glass, we'll find out. All right, Shift Signet, increase the cooldown from 40 to 50 seconds in PvP only. I hate that, but I'm not surprised. So for those of you that don't play Mechanist, Shift Signet, I'm shocked at how much they put on it. So the passive is it increases your movement speed. If you activate it, it teleports you and the mech to a location, like that. When you activate it, it is a stun break, and it removes 2 conditions. So it's a movement speed, a teleport, a stun break, and a condition cleanse. And there's one effect baked into it that while it's available, any boons you get are copied to your mech. So if I do this to give myself vigor, I get vigor, he got vigor, but then because I got vigor, he got vigor a second time. So my boons are gone and he's still got them. The end result of that is if I do something like this and just, you know, send out a whole ton of boons, you know, I got 15 stacks of might, but he ended up with 25 for 50 seconds. So, and that's part of Shift Signet. So Shift Signet is something that is just, it's so good. It's going to be in most builds. Additionally, Overclock is the elite skill of choice for most mechanists, and it reduces the cooldown of other signets by 20%. So that 50 seconds will become 40 with Overclock. Whereas previously, the 40 was becoming 32 with Overclock. Guardian, Renewed Justice now has a 1-second internal cooldown. Willbender Searing Pact fixed a bug that caused the burning this trait added to strikes from Willbender Flames to use the PvP/World v World duration of 2 seconds in all game modes instead of the intended 1-second duration in PvE that is on the trait tooltip. Willbender Flames now has a skill fact to show burning inflicted per strike if you have Searing Pact. Phoenix Protocol increased alacrity duration from 1 to 1.5 seconds in PvE. So it'll be a little bit easier for them to keep that alacrity up using that trait. Mesmer, Virtuoso. Virtuoso's condition damage options are intended to be a high sustain build for general play. However, we'd still like to bring a little bit closer to the power builds in damage. So this patch increases the bleeding duration from both the Jagged Mind trait and the F2 Blade Song. Jagged Mind, bleed duration PvE increased from 3 to 5 seconds, and Blade Song, same thing. Duration per hit increased from 3 to 5 seconds. Actually, the second one doesn't say in PvE, so Blade Song's Sorrow might be all game modes. Ranger Untamed. Untamed is getting a large damage and defense improvement in PvE with an adjustment to the third minor trait Vow of the Untamed, and we're also correcting restorative strikes to be in line with other healing based on damage dealt traits in other professions. Fixed a bug that caused the third minor trait of Vow of the Untamed to apply even if you have not trained it yet. Vow of the Untamed damage bonus percentage increased from 15% to 25% in PvE only. Damage reduction percentage increased from 10 to 25 in PvE only. Wow, that's a big jump, 10 to 25. Restorative strikes, percentage of damage dealt converted to healing, reduced from 10 to 5 in PvE only. When they said it was going to be more in line with other classes, I was immediately remembering how much they nerfed blood magic recently, and I was like, I wonder if that means it's going down, and that appears to be the case. Ferocious Symbiosis fixed a bug in which this trait would stop applying effect stacks to the player's pet in some cases. Unleashed Pet Skills fixed a bug in which activating these skills would trigger confusion damage on the player. So they're saying when you order your pet to do F1, F2, F3, but you had confusion, you would get hit by the confusion dot. For a second, a microsecond, I thought they meant that the buttons were hurting people in real life. And honestly, yeah, I could see that. I would have believed that too. All right, Revenant, Vindicator, the second class that they think is a bit too much right now in PvP. Forerunner of Death, fixed an issue in which the warning effect could be shown to allies. Vassals of the Empire, fixed an issue in which the warning effect could be shown to allies instead of the intended blue circle. Saint of Zuhelzer, fixed an issue in which the warning effect could be shown to allies instead of the intended blue circle. Removed the white indicator circle for enemies. Those are all kind of funny that allies are seeing red circles from the Vindy and we're needing to dodge them. And I'm thinking, I don't think I've had a Vindy that I can remember in any of my PvE groups since the expansion launch. PvP, yes. They're crazy in PvP, but PvE, I don't think I've seen any. Vindicator is the other elite spec we wanted to address in competitive modes before the next update. Eternity's Requiem was significantly out of line with other high damaging abilities, and we've accelerated the damage fall off on consecutive hits against the same target. Was that the Great Sword 5? Hang on a second. Goes to Vindicator Great Sword. And let me open this up. I'm pretty... Yes it is. So that was the one with a million small red circles, and one of them was locked onto you. Yeah. Okay, not surprised at all. Hold on a sec. We've accelerated the damage fall off on consecutive hits against the same target. This will allow the skill to still maintain its wider AoE pressure while ensuring it isn't too punishing in a smaller scale engagements where all of the guaranteed hits land onto the same target. Saint's Shield is another element of the Vindicator that has been overperforming, particularly on the aggressive damage-oriented builds. We've brought down the base values and increased the healing contribution for both the healing and barrier component, primarily targeting the potency of this dodge when not invested into any healing power. Eternity's Requiem, great, that's the Great Sword 5, we just double-checked. The skill will no longer create guaranteed impact areas underneath enemies who are in stealth. Reduced the damage fall off per additional hit from 10% to 40% in PvP and World v World. Now this is per additional hit. It's important to note that. Reduce the minimum power coefficient from 0.3 to 0.1 in PvP and World v World. With these adjustments, the total power coefficient when being struck 5 times has been reduced from 3.6 to 1.82. I'll say as a non-Vindy fighting against Vindies, I did often feel like I needed to save one of my dodges for their Great Sword 5 and the other dodge for their dodge. Because their dodge would crash down on me and I would dodge that. They would use Great Sword 5, I would dodge that. And no other dodges for anything else. That's how it felt to fight them. Saint's Shield, reduce base healing and barrier from 3k to 1700 in PvP and World v World. Increase healing and barrier attribute scaling from 0.5 to 1.0 in PvP and World v World. So they're getting the Druid treatment. So the flat number is being nerfed, but the scaling is getting buffed. So if you're running healing power, it will scale harder than it did, but the base is lower. Death Drop, reduce the power coefficient from 2.6 to 2.2 in World v World only. Spectre. Similar to the Catalyst, the Spectre has been dealing a little more damage than other professions' DPS builds. However, the Scepter auto-attack chain is underperforming and awkward to use due to a long pause after the final hit. We're buffing the Scepter's auto-attack chain with a total of 2 more seconds of Torment for completing the entire chain, re-weighting the Torment duration so that the third attack is the most powerful, and cutting out a 0.3 second pause after the final hit that delayed restarting the auto-attack chain again. These Scepter Polish changes should make the specialization more fun to play in general, while we're also making the necessary damage reductions elsewhere with the traits Larcenous Torment and Strength of Shadows. Shadow Bolt, Torment duration reduced from 4 to 3 in PvE. Triple Bolt, Torment duration increased from 4 to 5 in PvE. Removed the 0.3 second pause after the final bolt that prevented players from immediately restarting the Scepter auto chain. Larcenous Torment fixed a bug in which this trait was giving 1% Shadow Force when you apply Torment rather than the intended 0.5% specified in the trait description. Ooh, y'all were getting double. Larcenous Torment, Torment damage increase reduced from 20% to 10%. Consume Shadows fixed a bug that caused this effect to heal downed allies. Ooh, it wasn't supposed to. Strength of Shadows, the duration increase to Torment instances applied by Rot Wall of Venom has been reduced from 2 seconds to 1. Warrior, Warhorn. Charge. The number of targets decreased from 10 to 5 in PvE, matching the current target count in other game modes. Call of Valor. Number of targets decreased from 10 to 5 in PvE, matching other game modes. Blade Sworn Unsheath Gunsaber. Fixed an issue in which the characters below level 80 were unable to equip the Gunsaber in PvP. Hadn't heard about that one. Bug fixes. Fixed an issue in which char female characters would roll their eyes into their head while fishing. Oh gosh, those spooky women. Fixed an issue in which the skiff skill depth charges would not appear in maps outside of Cantha. That skill makes me mad, and I'll tell you why. When a mechanist goes underwater, they lose their mech. You feel like a cripple? I don't know why they did that. Like, the whole profession falls apart without the mech, but you go underwater, no mech. Instead, you get a skill called depth charges, and it pretends your mech is above you and it's raining down shots, but it's really weak and it's dumb. So the first time I fought the Leviathan has a buff that says like tough skin removed by depth charges, and I was like, oh my god, the mechanist is terrible underwater, but they've made this one thing as like an I'm sorry to us, and this will make it to where the mech is good for this one thing. They need us to remove the tough skin. Nope, it doesn't do anything. Skiffs have a skill called depth charges. They freaking reuse the same name for multiple things. That makes me more mad than the whole Dragon's End thing. Okay, no mention of the turtle. I'll mention it myself because I didn't see it in the notes. A reminder for anyone struggling with Dragon's End, the Siege Turtle, to start the quest for the Siege Turtle, you have to get a Siege Turtle egg. Pre-today, the only way to get that egg was to complete a successful Dragon's End, which was a huge roadblock for lots of people because many groups struggled with Dragon's End. Now, when you would get the egg at the end of the meta, you could do all the remaining stuff, which was much easier than getting a Dragon's End. Because of the response to this, ArenaNet basically said, all right, we're going to add an alternative way to get it if you would like. And they said that they're going to add a merchant that sells the turtle egg in Dragon's End for 200 writs of Dragon's End. Now, you get writs of Dragon's End by doing any event there. So even if you do like all the pre-events but then fail the finale, you get a lot of them. Like I have over 200 writs right now, and I failed it 8 times, succeeded once. So you can spend 200 writs to buy the egg somewhere there, and then start your turtle without ever succeeding in Dragon's End after that goes live. This was posted as well. All right, hold on, I'm taking a look. All right, so we've got another thing here. Express yourself on land and sea with new skins for your Siege Turtle and Skiff. Really quickly, I want to say something here. There was a lot of people that were saying some stuff. Like, I had a pretty bad time with Dragon's Den. I did. I've already talked about that previous video, so I won't go into detail. I'll just say my experience wasn't great because of so many failures. There was a lot of people that were like, oh, watch, they nerf this into the ground just so everyone can get a turtle so they can sell more skins. And I'm sure those people are going to feel like they're right when they say this. I'm pretty sure they wanted everyone to get the turtle because everyone paid for an expansion that advertised you could get a turtle. Not just so they could sell skins. That's my thoughts on that matter. I don't think they're nerfing Dragon's Den just so people will buy different colored turtles. I don't believe that for a microsecond. Alright, continuing on. Siege Turtle Advent Mounts Pack. Your turtle shell is its home, and now you can decorate it. This package includes 5 skins for Turtle, Luminous Bastion, Magma Back Snapper, Deep Water Barb Shell, Painted River Turtle, and Southern Terrapin. Let me see if those are in the shop right now. I can show them off. Let's see. Crescent Canoe, Siege Turtle Advent Mounts. Okay, let's see what we got. Alright, so this is the Southern Terrapin, the Painted River Siege, Deep Water Barb Shell. Oh, it's a spiky boy! He's got a horn, too. Magma Back Snapper. That's a spicy boy. We got Spiky Boy and Spicy Boy. And Luminous Bastion. Very jadey. Got some jade on my jade. Alright, honestly, it looks a little radioactive. I'd be a little concerned about that. Next up is the Crescent Canoe Skiff Skin. This beautifully carved and painted skiff skin is practical enough for day trips and romantic enough stargazing. Now, when I think skiffs and romance, I remember that Kanang does have a tunnel of love. And if you haven't played the story, look forward to it. So, here's the skiff. There we go. I like how there's doors on the bottom. If you would like to drown, you just open those right up and just let all the water in. Easy peasy. Some might say those are compartments to hold your loose change or something. We know what that is. It goes right to the bottom. Golden Dragon Fishing Rod Skin. Taunt the nearest school of fish with this fishing rod's shiny golden scales. Yeah, it gives you something to stare at while you're doing that minigame for hours and hours and hours. There it is. It does look pretty sweet, though. Look at that. Very wobbly. Jade Bobber with a dragon claw on it, too. March sale continues. The whole month is packed with sales. Head to the gem store every day in March to pick up value packages and discounts on some of our most popular items. March Madness. This has happened multiple years in the past. They are known for doing lots of sales in March, so that is this. March 15th, there's a 30% off the instant level 80 ticket, Mistlock Sanctuary Passkey. In my opinion, the best town in the game, even still after End of Dragons. Armistice Bastion Passkey, in my opinion, the second best one in the game. Unless you're a die-hard World v. World player, then maybe the best. Captain's Airship Lava Pass, don't get that. Lava Lounge Pass, no. Noble's Phallic, no. Royal Terrace, I can't recommend. March 16th, 30% off. Daydreamer's Finery Outfit, Defiant Glass Outfit, Exemplar Attire, Fancy Winter Outfit, Gem Aura Outfit, Imperial Outfit, Noble Count Outfit, Noble Courtier Outfit, Queensdale Academy Outfit, Spring Pomegranate Outfit, and Winter Monarch Outfit. Hope you were paying attention. That will be on the test. March 17th, 40% off. Build Template Expansion, Equipment Template Expansion, and Build Storage Expansion. March 18th, New Auspicious Vision Voucher Pack. I don't know what that is. March 19th, New Elite Weapons Voucher. End of Dragons Launch Supply Drop Requisition. So this was for sale recently. I don't know if you can still get this. Hang on, I'm looking in game right now. Search the word drop. You can still get it. Okay, it's currently 2,700 gems on sale down from 3K right now. So if you get the requisition, week 1, you get Red Crane weapon choice, 5 line keys, black line keys, and 5 redacted die kits. Redacted? What is that, CIA die kits? Week 2, Black Line Backpack and Glider combo voucher, End of Dragons Expedition board. I got that, and the End of Dragons Expedition board in your home instance, you can tell it, mail me stuff each day from Xingje, Kanang, Echoval, Jade Sea, or Fish. And mine is set to Fish, so I never have to fish. It's not my thing. And they just mail me a bunch of fish fillets of like all the tiers every day. So those just are piling up. Heroic boosters. Week 3, we are starting week 3 right now. Black Lion outfit voucher, Black Lion weapon voucher, and 2 each, a bunch of dice. Week 4, gold essence weapon choice, 2 guaranteed wardrobe unlocks, and 2 Black Lion mini claim tickets. You'll receive 3 shipments of fantastic goods right away if you purchase the End of Dragons launch supply drop requisition this week. If it's the last week to get yours at the discounted price, don't miss it. What's in stock? Stop by and peruse our line of returning spring outfits later this week. And log into Guilders 2 and press O to access the Black Line Trading Company for these great options. Okay, that's it. This is going to be a long video, but that's it. That's it for the new changes. If you got anything else to add, throw it in the comments down below. Like the video to help us out with the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see y'all next time.